Hi, Natalie here, Shapeless Flame. Welcome to my channel. If you are unfamiliar with my work, I draw cartoon critters and cryptids, and I post them on the internet, essentially. But in this particular video, I'm going to be talking about a small but mighty nonfiction book that I find inspiring in both my life and in my artwork. And that book is called The Wonder Society by Keri Smith. Right here. The core message of this book is to wander or to walk. That is, of course, if you're able-bodied. You'll see this Latin phrase, solvitur ambulando, used throughout, and is solved by walking. While out on said wander, your primary objective is to surrender to the unknown. So it's like a choose-your-own-adventure sort of thing. This is worth mentioning that this is not like a workout or challenge of any kind. It's actually quite the opposite. What it's meant to do is just break you out of the passivity of consumption, scrolling, you know what it's like. It is intended to kickstart your imagination, to break you out of the idea that the mundane is something that is just boring and drudgery, that you can find magic in everyday things. It's anti-capitalist. The book outlines 10 different tenets that you are supposed to quote-unquote follow very loosely whilst on a wander. Wander every day. Do not plan your wanderings. Start in any direction. The location is not important. Use whatever you have. You have everything you need. Use your senses. Collect and gather. Document experiences and findings. Remain open. Breathe deeply. Ask the question, what can I discover? Allow ideas to come in. Write them down. Question everything you have been told. Use your imagination in your wanderings. Use your intuition. Follow hunches. Go towards what you are drawn to. Encourage your own wild nature. What makes you feel truly alive? The Wonder Society is also, in fact, a real society. They make zines. They leave clues in both urban and rural spaces and settings, and they even have a mysterious set of symbols. Something about these feels very sigil-like to me. Now, this book was written in 2016, so I'm not entirely sure how many factions still exist, but it is a club of introverts, so I don't really think that that's something that you're supposed to quantify in the first place, so the ideas are timeless regardless. So when this book came out, like I said, in 2016, there used to be a Facebook group that Keri, the author, actually was an admin for. And it was just like a really cool space for like-minded little sensitive souls like myself to talk to each other. And at even one point, I think you could put your address into a database, which I know takes a lot of trust. But I received some cool mail from a complete stranger once, and it was just a delight. Of course, the digital landscape has changed significantly since 2016, an understatement. And that Facebook group, I believe, is no longer a thing. If it is, Keri is no longer active. I'm still fairly certain that the website that's mentioned in the book is active, and there's probably some Reddit boards or other things like that. I digress. There's also a sort of unofficial, but I'm pretty sure it's more official at this point, but there's not a lot of official things. It's semantics. The mascot of the Wonder Society is the author Walt Whitman. So you might be asking yourself, why Walt Whitman? There's so many different people that could inspire a movement like this. Well, Walt Whitman, to anybody that knew him, was this sort of like mystical, otherworldly person, and everybody that was around him said that he held this specific energy that was hard to quantify. His work embodies the critical thinking and physical expression that is inherent in the mythos of the Wonder Society. He's the perfect mascot, quite frankly. All of this sort of culminates and is embodied quite acutely in his poem, The Leaves of Grass. Re-examine all you have been told at school, or church, or in any book. Dismiss whatever insults your own soul, and your very flesh shall be a great poem, and have the richest fluency, not only in its words, but in the silent lines of its lips and face, and between the lashes of your eyes, and in every motion and joint of your body. So, how can the act of wandering help enhance your creativity? Wandering encourages play and spontaneity, And it also gives you a mind-body connection, which is something that is severely lacking sometimes when all you're doing is consuming, especially nowadays. Because if all you're doing is consuming, your mind is not sharp. It's influenced. Big difference. And probably 9 times out of 10, when you become intellectually lazy, you also become physically lazy. And when these two things converge, your creativity just goes in the toilet. And of course, this is a perfect combination for the attention economy and the extraction economy to just constantly keep you in this loop of buy, consume. And you are then stalled in reaching your full potential. So one of the simplest ways to implement this is if you're out on a walk and you normally take the same road every single time. Next time you're out, take a different road. Have you ever looked down a street and you're like, I wonder what's down there? Go down it. Let's just go see. Assuming it's safe, you know. If you see a really cool plant, take a picture of it. Go draw it in your sketchbook. Learn about it. It could be something that's been there all along and you never even know. If you see like a super cool acorn on the ground, pick it up. Save it in a little trinket box. Maybe you could write a poem about it. Possibilities are endless. You get it. It's about being open to mystery and sort of approaching the world as you did when you were a child. You are actively opting out of despair and treating your boredom as a luxury, because it is. Okay, so who knows? Maybe now you're inspired to go pick up this book. And 2 weeks from now, you've been wandering, walking around every day, learning all these new things about your neighborhood, about yourself, and you get inspired. You want to write a book. You want to paint a landscape. Maybe you haven't painted in years. This might spark something in you. Or at the very least, and I don't consider this the least in any sense of the word, you could just get happier. And I think that is enough.